What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. It's Figsy here, and we're finally in my new game room. I've been really excited to show you guys this. It's been a long time coming. It's been a couple of years since my last game room tour, since sold a house, moved across the country, and this is the new place. Yeah, let's get into it, guys. So this is new. We've never had glass shelves, so I've got some glass shelves now for the Holy Grail items. So we've got the 3D collection shelf up here with The Last of Us, Joel and Ellie editions, lovely. And then moving on to one of my favorite series, Dark Souls from Software. So we have some of the more collectible from Software pieces in my collection. And some of the Holy Grails for sure. Here we have the Sonic Generations Collector's Edition for the PS3. And some more collector's editions. So we've got the Catherine Stray Sheep Edition, Metal Gear Solid 4, the Limited Edition, Drakengard 3 Limited Edition, and the Mirror's Edge Steelbook. Moving on to the first shelf over here. So here we have the PlayStation 1 games with the PS2 games below them. And I also have G1 Steelbooks below them. So moving on to my PS1 collection. I'm pretty fussy with PS1 games. It has to be black label, so no greatest hits, and everything has to be complete with a manual and all the artwork. If it doesn't fit that criteria, I don't put it in the collection. So we'll pull out a couple of grails. Obviously Castlevania, Sympathy of the Night. Diablo, the OG on PlayStation 1. All the Final Fantasy games. Grand Theft Auto. Here we have the Grand Theft Auto double feature, which includes Grand Theft Auto London and Grand Theft Auto. This one only got released in Australia. Metal Gear Solid series, Medieval, Need for Speed, we've got Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, Pandemonium, and moving on to the Resident Evil games. And of course, Silent Hill. My favorite, the Spyro series. Pretty excited that these are getting the remaster next year, or the remake. And that's the Suikoden 1 and 2. Another OG series, Tekken. Got its start on the PlayStation 1. Tomb Raider. I love this is the Vigilante series on PlayStation 1. I wish they would make a comeback. And then at the end, these are the powered double packs. I believe there's 20 of them all up. At this stage, I'm not going for them all, but if I can find them for a good price, I pick them up. And they have these nice white cases with the two games. So that concludes my PS1 collection. Before we start on the PS2, I'll quickly take you guys over here. And these are the PlayStation 3 promo discs. So they were giving out to like reviewers and stuff prior to the game, but they do include a full copy of the game. I like to collect the ones that have the artwork like this. And they sort of come in this like CD single case. We move on to the PlayStation 2. I've been working hard on the PlayStation 2 recently. I just finished the Atelier Iris series. We got Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. One of my favorite series on the PlayStation 2, And that's the Burnout series. These are all the Burnout games on the PS2. We should get a new Burnout game, that would be really cool. Castlevania. Now here's a really cool game. This one is Cold Fear. A survival horror game on the PlayStation 2. We've got the Crash Bandicoot games. I believe there's one left I need for the set. And one of my favorites, Dark Cloud, and its sequel, Dark Chronicle. Destroy All Humans, Devil May Cry. Dragon Ball Z, just missing Budokai Tenkaichi 3, which is arguably the best Dragon Ball Z game. Drakengard 1 and 2. This might be an interesting one to see, but this is FIFA 14, which is quite a hard game to find, being one of the last released PlayStation 2 games. American collectors get excited over this one, but unfortunately the PAL version's a really cheap game, and that is Futurama. Here we go, Grand Theft Auto and Gran Turismo. Harry Potter. Now this one here is really cool. It's the Harry Potter collection, which has the Philosopher's Stone, Chamber of the Secrets, and the Prisoner of Azkaban. Whoops. There we go. I got some Hitman games. Jak and Daxter. Juice. Kingdom Hearts. Legend of Spyro. I didn't really like the PS2 Spyro games, at least compared to the PlayStation 1 ones. Now we've got the Manhunt games. More Metal Gear Solid, some Metal Slug, Mortal Kombat, a bunch of Naruto titles, Need for Speed. One of my favourite titles, this got a PS3 and 4 remake, but this is Odin Spear. Akami. Prince of Persia. Project Zero 1, Project Zero 2, and The Tormented. Ratchet and Clank. I am missing a couple of Ratchet and Clank games. I hope to pick them up soon. We've got the OG here, Red Dead Revolver. The Grail, I've recently picked this one up. And that is the UK version of Rule of Rose, and this is sealed. One of my favourite games, and in the PS2 at the moment, and that is Scarface, The World Is Yours. Silent Hill. Simpsons, I absolutely love Hit and Run. I enjoyed Road Rage as well. Looking to get Sly Raccoon 2 to complete that subset soon. SXX. Spy vs. Spy was a great game. If you read the Mad TV magazines, I think they were. Some more Tekken. We've got Tony Hawk. Including this really cool double pack from Australia. It goes against my rule on getting platinum games, but it's such a cool double pack, I have to have this one. I really love these V8 Supercar games. I just realised they're in the wrong order. Yeah, V8 Supercars 1, 2, and 3. Worms, Way of the Samurai, And of course, WWE. Great games on the PS2. And to finish off the PlayStation 2 collection, here we are. Some Yu-Gi-Oh titles in here. And of course, you have to end the collection with Zone of the Enders. I feel like Zone of the Enders is the last game on my PS2, 3 and 4 collections. And I will show you guys my G2 Steelbooks as well. Sorry, these are G1. So G1 means that they're the same size as PlayStation 2 games. I don't usually collect them. I just pick up ones that I really like. Now, a lot of you guys have requested to see slow pans like I just did of my PS1 and 2 collections of the PS3 and 4 set. So I am going to do that in this video, but to save everyone else who doesn't want to see that, I will save this for the end because it will take quite a while. So yeah, let's do a quick overview of the PS4 and 3 games, and then I will take you guys to the second room because this is not just a 1-room game tour, it's actually going to be a 3-room game tour. So here we have my PS4 collection. I only keep standard PS4 games here. Collector's editions, steelbooks. Steelbooks are below, but collector's editions and anything that's like slipcover or paper base is stored elsewhere. I've got them in alphabetical order. I've got Japanese games, North American games, power games all mixed together. I'm pretty happy with how it's working with the PS4 lately. I have slimmed down my collection quite a bit and just focus on what I really want to collect. But yeah, as you guys will see later in the video, I'm really happy with how the PS4 collection is looking today. I will show you guys the steelbooks now though. So here we have the PlayStation 4 steelbooks. Some of the favourites include Nier Automata. This one took a long time to find. And Octavia wanted to say hello as well. Hello, Octavia. She's got a spot in all the game rooms. And now we move on to my PlayStation 5 collection. So, standard PS5 games, at the moment staying out here. I probably will buy another shelf for them later down the line, but I don't have too many. I really don't have many at all, it doesn't even fill up a shelf. I do have some slipcovers and stuff that you will see a little bit later on. And probably what most of you guys are waiting for, the PS3 games. So I have significantly slimmed down my PS3 collection. I've probably sold 500 PS3 games off, which might sound a lot, but I had over 2,000, so I've still got a lot of PS3 games. I don't have a complete set anymore, but I do have all my favorite games. Everything that I want as a collector, I own. Everything that I sold, I had no interest in. It was either shovelware, sport titles, or just games that I had no interest in owning, only bought for a full set, and was more happy to sell them than actually own them. We will, like I said, with the PS4 games, we will show you off the PS3 games at the end of the video, slowly panning through them all, so you guys will see all these games soon. I just want to show how it's laid out, and then we'll get into the other rooms because it will take quite a while. So again, it's laid out in alphabetical order, starting in the numbers, going from A to Z. Once you get to about here, and then this row is all steelbooks, all G2 size. And then at the end, you've got the blue spine games with the digital games as well. There's literally space for 2 games, and that's the 2 digital games that I'm missing. So yeah, I don't have any plans to add any more PlayStation 3 games to this wall unless they release more, which I don't think Limited Run will do any more PS3 games, knowing that they are quite expensive to produce and it's cheaper to just make a PS4 copy. So yeah, let's move on to another room, guys. Moving on to the second room. So this is my office or stream room, whatever you want to call it. But we do have games in here as well. So we have Nintendo and mainly boxed PlayStation games. So that includes all the slipcovers and all the G2 size stuff. Anything that's bigger than G2 does live in another room. For Also got some really cool posters on the wall, including this canvas print of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. And it's actually really cool. This is actually the blow up of my version. So I sent a photo of my copy to a company and they made this, which is really cool. And one of the highlights of this room is my Pokemon collection, which is, if you follow me on Instagram, you've probably seen the journey, or Twitter, but yeah, this is quite new to YouTube. So I've been working on all the Australian PAL Pokemon games. I'm proud to say I've only got one left for a full set. Done all the mainline titles. It's just one of the subset games left, so no rush. I will get that down the line. But all these are boxed. They're all complete, and they're all in at least like an 8.5, 9, or a 9.5, or in a rare case, a perfect 10 condition. So I'm very, very happy to own these in the condition that they're in. Pokemon Pinball. Pinball is quite interesting. It's actually a bigger case than the other ones, or a bigger box, so it doesn't have a protector like the rest of them. They're all in these plastic protectors. So here we have the generation 1. We start with 2, and then we move on to 3, 4, and we keep going down. Sapphire Ruby, Fire Red Leaf Green, and the most expensive one to get was Emerald. And thankfully I got a really, really nice condition copy. I'm pretty happy with that. And we have the big boxes for Ultra Moon, Ultra Sun, as well as Sun and Moon. And we move on to some DS. Here we have the download codes for Gold, Silver, and Crystal all sealed, and as well as the Heart Gold and Soul Silver versions for the DS. And hiding at the back, we have Learn with Pokemon Typing Adventure, and this one is sealed. And then moving down to the bottom shelf, we've got some Switch items, as well as some boxed DS, 2DS and 3DS XL Pokemon editions, which are really cool. Next, I want to talk about my setup. So I have these on the wall, which are foam, sandproof foam squares. And to put them on the wall, I've got some canvas prints. These are like 33 by 33, and they fit 4 of these perfectly. So I got a bunch of those, stuck them on, and that way I can take them off the wall without having them always stuck to the wall. And I have these around. It's definitely helped with the sound in this room. As well as that, the floor is wood in here. Hello, Octavia. So I have put down these mats, and that's made the floor a lot more soundproof as well. So the sound quality is a lot better. I've got the same mic as I always have, but it sounds a lot better than it used to. I also have a new mic stand with the filter. And then we move on to the computer. I'm not going to go over the specs of my PC because I don't know them. But yeah, I haven't upgraded my PC in a long time. But I have replaced a few monitors. So I do have a 4K monitor now in the middle. I have this sideways one, which is mainly for reading chat and stuff when I'm streaming. But yeah, I'm really happy with my PC setup. I've upgraded the camera as well. The camera's now 4K. I've also got a new printer for eBay. So this prints out labels, so I don't have to go to the post office or print anything out. This does it all for me. Yeah, so it's not just a station for having fun, it's also a workstation as well. Moving on to the games. So you may or may not know, but I am working on a complete PlayStation 3 slipcover collection, which means I'm going for every single game that has this cardboard sleeve, and the slipcover ones are like the single case one. I'm not going for a complete box set of the bigger ones, just these single case ones. As far as I'm aware, there's about 20 I'm missing. I'm sure that there's more out there that exist that just haven't been discovered yet. But here's all the ones I've got at the moment. It's about 115 or 120, I believe I've got. quite fussy with condition too. It really has to be in top condition to go in the collection, otherwise I'm just not interested. And I do apologise I'm not showing any, but it's quite difficult to pull these in and out, so I try to avoid, if I can, having to pull them out of the shelves. I like some of the regional differences. So this is the PAL Spider-Man 3 Collector's Edition. The North American one, one's gold, one's silver. I think they look great together. And I don't have doubles of anything. The two Wallies, one doesn't have a lenticular cover, one has a lenticular cover. They're sold at different retailers, so it's cool to have both of them. And then we move on to the bigger stuff. So I'm not going for a full set of this stuff at all. I've just pick up what I can when I can. But this is all the G2 box stuff that's bigger than a single case. Some of the cool ones, we've got Daily Premonition, the Classified Edition. This one here is cool. It's the Green Lantern double pack with the Blu-ray, and it only got released in Australia. This one I will pull out. It's the Hot Wheels box, and it does come with a toy Hot Wheel as well. Super cool. And this one was only in Brazil. And what's cool about it is every single one comes with a different car. I've never actually seen the same car twice, so it's a really cool one. And here's another set that I am going for a complete set of, and that is just all the boxed Lego games with the minifigure. As far as I'm aware, I'm missing one with a minifigure and one with a Blu-ray. The Blu-ray one's in Brazil. I don't know if I'll ever get that. Yeah, hopefully we'll get the last minifigure one day. This Rockstar Games Collection one's really cool. So it includes 4 games: Red Dead Redemption, Midnight Club Los Angeles, LA Noire, and GTA 4 episodes from Liberty City. Now these are all the 2K packs. There are more of them, but they are bigger size, so I keep them elsewhere. And then we have the region free English Chinese packs. These are all plain English. They're all double packs. They all include the DLC. And they're all very, very hard to find, and I couldn't imagine trying to track them down today. I had a nightmare trying to find them 10 years ago when they were still in shops. But yeah, it's really cool to have all these games in English with the double packs. I think these packs look amazing too. I've got all the double ones like this. There are more triple packs. I've got the Uncharted one. I've got the Final Fantasy. I think there's one more. I got a War one, which I hope to get in the future. And we've got the Platinum packs as well. I was going for a full set of these, but I've since decided not to. I actually sold off my entire Platinum collection, and this is all that I kept. And then we move on to some more of my PS4 collection. This is where I keep the slipcovers. I'm not going for a full set or anything, which PS4 collection is just absurd the way that they release some things. But I do like to keep it all organized and group it all together. Some cool stuff. Here we have Tails triple pack. Includes the Seria, Berseria, and the Seria, which is really cool. This Harry Potter pack's really cool as well. I'll try and pull it out. So it includes Harry Potter collection, Lego collection, years 1 to 7. A pin, badge, and magnet, and the Blu-ray of Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. It's really cool. Now you move on to some Play Asia packs. And then finally we've got some more of my PS5 collection. So like the PS4 and 3, I keep all the box stuff out here, all the paper stuff out here, and then the bigger stuff is in a different room again. Moving on to my Nintendo collection. I started working on Nintendo a couple of years ago, and I really just tried to pick up first party titles, but I feel like my collection's definitely getting there. Obviously I've gone hard on Pokemon, but I'm slowly working out Wii U, Wii, DS, 3DS, and the Switch. Having an absolute blast collecting for these systems as well. That's the Wii games. Moving on to the DS. I love the look of all the Pokemon spines together. I think they look absolutely amazing. And moving on to the 3DS. 3DS is actually such an amazing system. There's so many games I really want that are quite expensive. Working more on the PS2 right now, but I feel like I can definitely get into the 3DS pretty hard later on. So watch this space and you will see. And then moving on to a system that I'm absolutely in love with these days, and that is the Switch. Trying to stick to just collecting exclusives, but as you can see, I've picked up some games that aren't exclusive and they're in the collection, so I haven't quite stuck to that. But if there is the option between, say, a PS4 or a Switch version, I will pick up the PS4 version, unless it's a big discrepancy in the price or something. And we have steelbooks as well. I only have picked these up when they come with the game. I haven't gone out of my way to buy them or anything. So I wouldn't say I'm working on steelbooks for the Switch, but a lot of them are Pokemon, etc. So I'm definitely keeping them. And welcome to the lounge room, guys, where the rest of the games live. So here we have the consoles. I've built this big shelf that I could store a lot of them behind as well, and it holds up to like 500 kilos, so I'm never gonna have to worry about shelf space, which is great. I've got my special edition PlayStation 3 consoles, as well as my original PS2, which is pretty cool. It was the original PS2 there. And we've got collector's editions as well. Now, I did sell off a lot of my collector's editions. I had a lot of big ones, but yeah, I have kept a few. Now, everything I have, I will be keeping at this point. But I'm very happy to have gotten rid of a lot of the big ones because they just took up so much room. And now I do have space, but I'm definitely more selective in what I'm buying these days. The big Metal Gear Solid HD collection. I possibly will get another shelf later down the line, and this is where some of this stuff will live, but for now this is where it's all living. So we have these boxed PlayStation 4 special editions, Fallout 3 collector's edition, the Driver collector's edition. Here we have a Game Boy Color. This is the original one I had as a kid. Not this exact one, but I had this color, so I went after this one, which is really cool. I never actually owned the box as a kid, so it's cool to have a complete one. And a lot of these will just be PlayStation 3 collector's editions. I had way too many. And a lot of PS4 stuff as well. Some really cool ones. This Far Cry 2 collector's edition is sealed, and it's actually made out of wood, which is really cool. Some I picked up recently. We have the Toy Story 3 limited edition and the Lies of P limited edition for the PS5. Here's the Final Fantasy dual pack that I mentioned earlier from that Chinese English set. Of course, the Bloodborne Nightmare edition. Now this one here is quite rare actually. It's the Far Cry 4 Blood Ruby edition, and the PS3 version in particular is really hard to find. You can find it on PS4, but yeah, this version here is really rare. I believe back in the day, if you didn't pre-order the PS3 version, the store only got a PS4 version. So they made PS3 versions off how many were pre-ordered. I could be wrong, but I believe that's what happened with that edition. I'm also big into geography. I play GeoGuessr pretty competitively, so I've also included geography in this room. So I found a garage sale, some big maps. These are like 10-kilo maps that you'd find at service stations back before GPS existed. We have one of Australia, one of Victoria. We have the fireplace, which in winter is amazing. I picked this up at a garage sale recently. It's another map of the world, but it's a really old map. It's detailed what the map would have said back in, I believe, the early 1900s, possibly the 1800s. No, it would be the 1800s. We've got New Holland. And then I've put a couple of flags in this room as well. So we have the French flag, Marshall Islands, Ukraine, India, and Sad Talman Principe. And then we move on to where the action happens. So I got a new telly. This is a 65-inch 4K TV. And it's made gaming on the PS5 really, really awesome. I used to just play on a regular like 1080p TV, but yeah, I'm absolutely loving this. So we have the Switch hooked up. I have the PS5 hooked up as well. The 360's down there. It's more for testing games. There's a DVD player down there. I don't know why. I also have some new things I'm working on. So I don't really collect books at this stage, but I've got a book down here from my friend Sandeep, who was on the podcast. This is his It Only Did Everything, the unofficial history of the PS3. Absolutely amazing read. I was thankful the power went out a few weeks ago, so I sat down and read the entire book. It was amazing. But my new little hobby, I've started collecting CDs. So here's the start of my CD collection. It's only small now. Everything I picked up for less than $1 or less, so I'm pretty happy with that. Now, I sneakily want to show you guys back here. So I've got the Ethernet cord hooked up to, plugged in, hot wired in. We're hooked up to this device, and then this splits the Ethernet cord into two. So the TV's hot wired and the PS5's hot wired as well. So we get close to 1 terabyte a second download speed out here, which is absolutely amazing because the router's down the other end of the house and Wi-Fi struggles. So yeah, playing hot wired in is the way to go. Watching, TV and Netflix, hot wired in is definitely the way to go. And then we got the battle stations. This is where Octavia sits. Hello, Octi. Of course, my seat there. Moving back to the PS4 games. Now we're going to go through the shelves slowly so you guys can see all the titles. Feel free to pause the video if there's anything you want to see, and if there's anything you're curious about, just leave a comment and I'll answer it at some point. Your Attack on Titan games are all pretty tough to find, especially the Australian versions. I'm happy to have those. Some cool titles, like here we have Arab Drift Cars. Now this one's in a plastic case, so it's hard to pull out. I recently finished all the Atelier games for the PS4. I don't have the first one that came out, but they only got an Asian English release. I've got all the Australian ones. The toughest one for me to find was Atelier Rosa. Back to the Future, it's one that's shot up recently. You got the blue reflection titles. Castlevanias, Celeste. So many amazing games for the PS4. Honestly, it's turning into probably my favourite system of all time, the way it's going. Just so many good titles on it. All of the Dark Souls games. Here we have the cover variant for Death Park. I was pretty excited to get this one in the mail. At this stage, I'm not going for any full sets or anything like that. I'm just collecting what I want for the PS4. It's a very cute collection. I have sold about 500 titles that I did have in my collection. All the shovelware titles and things that I just wasn't interested in. And yeah, I really love my collection today. I'm only picking up stuff that I'm into. A really awesome title, this one, Firewatch. I'm really happy to have the physical version of it. Just like the game next to it, the Final Fantasy 1 to 6 HD collection. Really happy that this got a remake, or a reprint. Of course, we've got the original first print of Fortnite. Godzilla. Griffin Knight Epic. The King of Fighters collection is pretty cool. It's expensive PS2 games. I'm happy that this got a PS4 version. One thing that I am working on are the PS4 JRPGs that got Australian releases. I've been knocking a lot of them out recently, and there's not too many left that I don't have. The ones that I don't have are pretty hard to find. Missing a couple of the Legend of Heroes games, but I've got 4 of them on PS4. I got 1 and 2 of Trails of Cold Steel on PS3, so I don't need those ones on PS4. Been trying not to double dip on systems like I used to. Oh, the new titles, some of my favourite games. We've got the Persona games. So many different versions of Persona 5 at this point. Of course, you got your Resident Evils. I love how they're all black spines. And the reason there's 2 Resident Evil 3s is this one's got a lenticular cover. And again, there's 2 Revenge of the Bird Kings, but one of them's the original cover, and it's actually signed by the creator of the game. And then we've got the reverse cover as well. So happy that Scott Pilgrim got a physical version. One of my favourite games on the PS3. Just so many quality titles. I could be talking about almost everything, but yeah, I don't want this video to go for hours, so we'll keep it moving through. Sword Art titles. I got lots of them on the PS4. into Yakuza, Ease, and of course we finish with Zone of the Enders. And last but certainly not least, let's move on to the PS3. Already we've got some bangers that I've got to pull out. 3D, you got Game Heroes. If you haven't played this, definitely give it a go. It's really fun. Of course, we've got Africa. Aquanaut's Holiday. We've got the Chinese English version and the Korean English version. Aquapazza. A pretty fun fighting title. Got the Armored Core games. Now, all the Atelier titles for the PS3. Now, all the Blaze Blue games. Here we have the Buzz, Brain of the World games, and this is a complete set of them. There's 20. Now, if you want to see more, I've got a full video showcasing each one and talking about where I found them, and I might give you ideas on where to get them if you're after them. Some of the Cabela titles. I did have a full set, but I've since curated my collection. Sold what I wasn't interested in and only kept the stuff that I really love. I much enjoy looking at my collection today than when I had over 2,000 titles. It was just a bit excessive. I had certain titles, some of the Call of Duties, for example, I had 5 copies of each just because they were all variants, but today I've just kept one. This row here is a little bit tight. I ran out of space, so there's probably one too many in. It's tough to get the games out, but the rest of the shelves are have one less game in, so I can easily move games around. So many cool titles for the PS3. Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Guard 3, DuckTales Remastered, such a fun game. For the Dynasty Warriors games. El Chavo Cut. El Shaddai was a great title. Everybody's Golf 5 and 6. Obviously they got the Formula 1 titles, Fallout, Far Cry's. Folklore's an amazing title. If you haven't played that, definitely give it a go. God of War titles. Godzilla again. Here we have the Gran Turismo HD concept install disc. All of the Hyperdimensia Neptunia titles for the PS3. Katamari Forever. King of Fighters 12 and 13. Obviously they've got The Last Guys. This is an amazing title. A really fun game from Asia. Definitely give it a go. It's a lot of fun. Like I've mentioned before, Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2. Lollipop Chainsaw. Lost in the Rain's an amazing title. This is the Chinese English version. Now this section in particular I really thinned out. I sold a lot of the sport games. I really only kept the college titles. No More Heroes Paradise. And I've got the Oddworld titles. Now this is the last game I did need for a full set. And it was Odin's Spear for the PS3. And in particular the Australian version. Some more Persona titles. Pixel junk. Here we have RE1 again. This is an Indian exclusive. Ratchet and Clank, of course. Resident Evils. Retro City Rampage, another late release title for the PS3. A lot of Rock Band titles I kept. Now some of them I did get rid of, some of the more common ones, but the ones that were hard to track down, I definitely kept those ones. Here we have the rugby titles. I love my rugby. The Saboteur was a really fun game. Really enjoyed that one. I would say that's an underrated title for sure. The Saw titles on PS3 were a lot of fun. These titles at the end here are the Silver Shield PS3 games. They come with Blu-rays as well as the game, so they have movies of them. Here we have a complete PS3 SingStar collection. This took me years to collect all the SingStar titles, but it's totally worth it. And they make a pretty cool rainbow when you display them like this. I love the Skate series on PS3. Scooter Snowboard Challenge is a really fun game. Get some of the Tails titles, as well as the double packs. Tornado Outbreak was a fantastic title. Moving towards the end of the alphabet. Here we have a lot of the Yakuza titles, including all of them that got released in Japan. And then we move on to steelbooks. I love these original steelbooks with the red spines. Now, some of my favorites include the Need for Speed Undercover steelbook. It's only got released in Spain. Here we have the Final Fantasy 14 steelbook that was a French exclusive pre-order, and it was only available in one store in France. Moving on, we have the Digitail titles, which I'm still missing 2, and I've got space for the 2 that I'm missing, so hopefully one day we get them. And then here are all the Blue Spine PS3 games. So there was a period where Sony was releasing the Blue Spines as well as the PS4 titles, and people were getting confused, so they quickly stopped that. But there are a bunch of them to collect. Well guys, there we are. 2024 Game Rooms Tour. I hope you guys enjoy this. I had a lot of fun making it. A lot of fun setting up the new game room. It wasn't fun moving and packing everything up, but thankfully there was no damage. Everything got transported in one piece and it's all set up again, ready to rumble. I'm loving the new game rooms. And yeah, looking forward to putting out some more videos for you soon. The podcast is every week. Make sure you drop a follow, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.